Welcome on the feature of Planswift, which is this one, Takeoff. Before we jump in on this feature of Planswift Takeoff, first want to take you through the different possibilities which you can do, because sometimes you will find you have a huge list of drawings. So if you have a huge list of drawings, like document controls, you can create different folders and you just name them in different ways so that you can manage them. So we have architecture, we have structure. Okay, so structural drawings, for example. So we have finishing drawing, for example, drawings. Okay, so and after you create all of these, you can just drag and drop. You can put roof drawings, for example. Okay, so then you can take the roof plan, you just drag and drop it under roof. So this model, you can put it under architecture. This one you can put it under structure. Okay, so now you can see that we have the finishing drawings. You can put like these ones, the ground, you just drag and drop inside the folder you created so that you can manage, and then you can open one folder and you can use the drawings which you want to put. So this is how you can manage your drawings, your documents controls, which is our drawings in the Planswift. And you can straight add a page. You can add a page from here as we did. You can go next and just go pick the drawings. So this one you can use it to delete a drawing. So this one you can use it to rename. So if you go to click on the drawing and properties, you can see it bring the rename, which you can rename the drawing. So the refresh is when you added new pages, and these ones you can use this to arrange the drawings, which one is the first, which is the last. So as you can see, these are just the drawings arrangement. You use these buttons up, you need to bring it down, you need to go it up, you need to make it a sub drawing, so you can see, so you move it from there. So this also, you can make this one the first drawing or the last drawings. So this is how you can use to arrange your drawings. So this one you can use to expand, or for example, if all of them they are not expanded, you can click this and all of the lists it is expanded. You can even collapse all of them like this. So you just click and it expands. So and the folders, they tells you the number of pages. Like in architecture, we have 1 page of drawings. Structure, we have 1. Finishing, we don't have any page. If we add any drawing here in the finishes, it will also record. If we add it here, when we had 1 page, it will be now 2 pages. So the pages numbers are automated in terms of numbers. So if you want to remove this one, you can just drag and drop. It now has 0, so you can just drag and drop. It now has 0, so you can just open, drag and drop, now 0. So now we have the folders, all of them, they are empty, so we can delete them. Okay, so we have now our drawing. Okay, so now for this feature of Takeoff, the first one is area. As we said before, to start taking off, to start measuring, you have to make sure you have the proper arrangement of the folder, the proper renaming, and arrangement of the pages. So as we were on the side plan, which we did the scaling, so we're now going to start on this one, and we are going to make the first item, which is the side clearance. So This is the just example. You want to confirm the area, just click you have all of these three options, all of these different options, but because we want only this area, we just click on area. The name is mandatory because that's what comes on this left side, so it's better to put the name which you can read and understand what the measurement is for. This is the color we want for the side clearance, so you can put the further if necessary, but for now let's leave it for that. So now you can click on the button, different angle of your plots. How are you going to do your side clearance? Okay, so I did double click, but because I don't have any other area, if I have another area, I could proceed measuring it. But because this is not part of the work, I do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I might do right click stop, or I might go to Digitizer Record, then I click to stop the recording. Okay, so this is how you do your side clearance. These are the square meters we have here on the takeoff side. On the left side we have 551.6 square meters of the side clearance. Then if there is the area which is already cleared, how to deduct? You just right click inside and you make subtract point to point and subtract box. So subtract point to point, you just click on various location to subtract, and you have to make sure you don't subtract outside of the selected areas. But now like this one, it's subtracted, but this is not the shape I was intending to get. So double click and then you can adjust the points. Okay, so this is now the area which we are subtracting from our side clearance. We had 551, now we have 480. So this is how you can subtract the area which is not going to be done. So, but if you find this is going to be also done under side clearance, still you can select and you press delete button and you remove it. The quantities comes back to the initial quantities. So this is how you can measure the items like side clearance. It can be measured using this, and floor finishes you can measure using this. Landscaping, this is the process you can take. Paving, gardening, so this is the area, any item which is measured under area, you can use this. Also, if you want to measure like plastering and painting from the elevations, you can also use this method to do those quantifications. Okay, so then when you're going to measure the linear, you just click on linear. But because I want to measure the linear, but these drawings is for site clearance. So, for example, if you want to measure the walling, the linear meters of this walling, first you go on the drawing and you scale. So the scale here, I have 18.1 meters. So I go to scale. Standard, then I put 18.1, then okay, this is done. Then to measure the linear, you can just press the button on the linear, you say sculpting, for example, then you pick the color which you like, then you click OK. So I can do the sculpting using the box, but now I see these are the sculpting's quantification. If you want to stop and proceed, so you just click and you pick new section. So you proceed this way. you proceed like this. Okay, new section, because there is a door here, there is no skirting on the door. You proceed like this. This is the entrance, so there is no skirtings in this room. You do all the way like this. New section, if you have another area to measure, you can come over here, you can do like this. New section, you just close nearby the doors, and you can now stop. So this is how you can measure using the linear meters. So the items which you can measure using the linear meters, these are skirtings, these are the cabling, these are piping, these are conduiting. So all of these, the horizontal items, can be measured using these linear items. So regarding the vertical piping, conduiting, or wiring, we shall use different methodologies, which is templates. So those when we reach to the advanced sections of the Planswift, so that we can know also how we can get on these items. Okay, so if you want then to measure the different segments, which is also in linear meters. So you just click on segments. So you can also put, this is scouting. So you can pick any color. For this segment, you just have to click 2 points and it takes you to another one. So you just click, you see it's done. You click, it's done. It's different to the linear, because the linear that we used, we can make a line which is continuous, but for the segments it's just 2 points and you get the dimension like this, You see what we measured, okay, like this. Okay, like this. So now you can do right click and stop. You see on this side we have different skirtings and the colors. So, and on the layouts you can also have them already here. So on the counts, when you want to count, for example, the number of doors, so you click on count button. Don't click here yet. So for this session, just click on count. Okay, so then you put internal doors. Okay, so on these internal doors, so we now go to, okay, so this is just click, don't remember, just click on any single internal doors you can see. If they are for a similar type, just group them by type, which is good. So you see now we don't have any other doors. Then stop the records. Then it might happen when you find you forgot to measure some of the doors. So what you do in that case, you just came here on the item which you have measured on the doors, which is this one, okay, internal doors. So just click on this button. So it is now green. When you click on it, it will turn this Digitizer record into red. That means you can proceed. And the quantities that you measure, they will be added onto the existing quantities. So now you can click the button. You see it's now red. So you can see if you find there is a missed door which you didn't measure. For example, let's assume this one is for internal. So you just click, they are now 8, there were 7 before. If you find any missed door, you can take it. You can take it. Now we have 10 and you stop. So what if you find there is a door which you measured and it is not part of that group? Don't worry about it. You also click on that specific door, as I clicked in this one of the dining room here. So I just press delete button. So this one I also click, press delete button. So this one I also press delete button. Now I have 7 doors. So it's now clear. What about the other items we did before? What about these ones? What if we find that there is area that we took quantities and it was not supposed to be? Okay, you can also delete them, no problem, delete that section, and the quantities, it will be this. We have now 25.3. If you remove these, for example, it's a different type, so we have now 19.1. What if we find there should be another location which we forgot to add? So it's not a starting. You just click on this button again, and again you can measure that missed part. You can measure. Now we have 32.8. It's red. That means it's activated, ready for taking of measurements. So for us to disable it, just click on Digitizer Records on right click and stop. Okay, so, and the same goes to the areas. We have the site clearance, but if we find that we need to continue from where we stopped, just do this button and you can do the measurements of other parts which maybe you didn't took. Okay, and what if we want to confirm where was where was the rust takeoff item that we did? So when you want to go to page, you just you have the screen like this, but you have a wrong wrist here, but you want to go straight to the page. You can right click and then you can come over here and you show labels. Okay, when you show labels, it comes inside the measured areas. It comes inside and you can find the show labels working. So this is now how you can use the area linear segment count. So the auto count normally works when you have different drawings. For example, for electrical, you have to count for the switches, so you can use the auto count, and you can search for different items. For example, let's try for this. You can take the auto count and then you pick the sample. So this is the sample we took. Then you click next. Then you click next. So it counts it counts all the items which is similar to the templates, but because these drawings we did croppings, so it might lose the focus and doesn't give us what we are looking for. So it normally works better when you have a fresh drawings exported from DWG or PDF. You can use the auto count and then you pick the sample. You just select the sample as we did. So, and then after that you're good to go and search for it. You just click next and then you can select the region. This is the region. Then you can click next. So it just searches. If it finds any similar, it just gives you that one. Okay, so let's proceed on the single click. Single click works when you want to take off the area and you just want to click once and get the area. So you can click on this button, single click area, for example. You see, you just click and now you get the total area, and now you see it's deducting the features which are inside. So as you can see, it's better when you have the drawing which doesn't have the more lines which are cross-cutting, because that when the single click will work better for you. Okay, so this is how you can do for the single click, this one. Okay, so you can use the single click, area, linear count, and the cut line is when you want to indicate the Planswift that's okay. I want this to be the cut lines. Okay, so then you can come to single click. You can then click here. Okay, you see, because we indicated the cut line, it now also gives us the dimension according to these cut lines that we've added. Okay, so then the send data. Send data these works when you have, for example, your Microsoft Excel project opened. Let me try to open one just now to show you how this can work. Okay, so if you have your BOQ and you want the quantities to come in these cells, you can just you can just click on the item you want and send data. It gives you the area, linear count. So I want this area, you just press and it comes straight. This is the next item. You just come to your Planswift, you click on the item, send data. I need to send area. Okay, so this is the next item. You just come to Planswift, you just come to your Planswift. You click on this item, for example, for the skirting. You can also use this tab. So send data. This is the linear. So you see all the items, send data it's going to send automatically. So the thing to be careful on this is that it doesn't record automatically. We have 19.4. If we are here and we say, okay, we can continue. We no longer have 19.4. We have 44.6 instead. So when you came here to this Excel, it doesn't change. So that means you need to come back again, and on this one you can send data, and now it replaces the existing. Okay, so this is how it works for the send data button. So now regarding the advanced, this was just the introduction. Regarding the advanced on the area, we have the single click. If you click the price per square meter, so you just fill the informations here, then you can click the button to start measuring. If you want to measure the area but you get the results in volume, you use this drop down button and you go to volume in cubic meter. So you can fill the information's depth in millimeter, price per cube. So all of this you can just use them. Just what you need to be careful about is which items can I measure like this volume in cubic meter. These items, they are like footings excavation. You can use this feature. And the concrete for the slabs, which is you can measure the area, but because there is somewhere we can put the depth, so the formula will be volume. So the concrete also can measure to that. The same goes to the concrete of the footings. Also it can be measured using this button of the volume in cubic meters. So if you want to measure the roof, so you go to metric roof, and you can put the pitch design degrees, the name which you're going to measure, for example, which gauge of your roof coverings, and so on. So then you can put the pitch. If you're done putting the pitch, you can then start taking off for the roofs. Okay, so on this one, if you want to measure for the grid tools, it's mostly usable when you're going to measure for the ceilings, because you need to find the number of panels in that ceiling. and you need to find about the substructure. And also the grid can be used when you're going to take off for the reinforcements of the slabs. Also you can use the grid tools. So what you do, for example, if this is the ceiling, so you just go to area, grid tools. So they ask you different questions. You just fill this form, and then you put the angle. So we like it is 45 degrees. The vertical spacing, this is 0.2. The horizontal also 0. Sorry, this is for, because we want to measure for the ceiling, so this is 0.6. So this is also 0.6. Okay, so you select the parallel side and you select the starting point. Okay, so the name, this is suspended ceiling we are measuring. Then you click OK. This is our ceiling. This is our ceiling. Then OK. So the starting point, it's this one. Okay, so as you can see now, we have the 600 panels. They are well drawn, and the good thing is in this one we have the grid lines, the 75.6 meters. So these are the T channels which the panels, the gypsum ceiling panels, 600 by 600 panels are seated on. So the square meters, we have 22.7 square meters. And then if you need the perimeter of this ceiling, because that's where the wall hang is going to be, the arrow, the angle bar, the angle line, angle channel of this ceiling. So if you go to send data, you can see the total meters is 22.87. So this is the angle channel, angle bar for the ceiling. So then the area is also indicated 22.69 or 0.7. So this is showing you the true informations how you can measure for the suspended ceiling using this feature called the grid tools, which is working similar to the joist tools. So then we need also to see how can this feature help us into finding of the reinforcements. For example, if this was the slab, so what you do, you can do the copy paste. You can do the copy and you can do the paste as a new item. So if you paste it as a new item, you can also come to this grid line, you copy them and you paste them as new item, and you can then change into rebars, for example, for if it's slab. Okay, then you right click advanced. So now the takeoff is going to be kilogram, and then this takeoff, because it's in meters, you can unlock this, because this takeoff is linear total, but it's locked. Okay, and now they are telling me that this cannot be modified. If this cannot be modified, and here the quantity is takeoff, so I can put the formula that quantity is takeoff times, for example, if it's Y12, and we have the meters, and I know Y12 is 0.888 kilogram per meter. So I can now easily times by 0.888, because it's Y12. So it now gives me the kilograms, you see, of this one. But now because I know it says double mat, I can times by 2. Okay. If I want to put an adjustment, I can put 1.1 just to adjust, to put 10% on this. So you can see now it's 135, okay, kilograms. So this is how you can maneuver all of these. Then another scenario comes in when you find that the spacing that we use, of course, is 600, but now if you can have to adjust this, also you can adjust when you're going to start taking off. You can adjust all of the spacing from 600 maybe to 200, so that you can have the informations which is more reliable on this type of taking off. But yeah, I just wanted to show you how you can use these grid tools in order to measure for the mesh reinforcements in the slabs and other reinforcement slabs as well, okay, which are horizontals. So in the linear, this is where you can use the metric wall area, because in the metric wall area you have the linear meter. You just measure the linear meter, but the result is in square meter. So you can just do like this. You measure this wall, okay, you measure this wall, but you see here the metric wall area is 24.7 square meters. Remember, we only measured the walls in linear meters, but because the wall height here, we kept it like this, so it now changes. But if we change this wall height to 3.6, the quantities also varies accordingly. And if you have like number of them too, it gets doubled. If the wall width is maybe this one, doesn't change on the quantities, maybe it can change on the pricing and the specifications as well. Okay, so this is how you measure the wall height, the wall area. But remember, we need to care about deductions of doors and windows. These we are going to see them in the templates lecture. Okay, so we've covered most of the features, basics of the takeoff. So we're going now, and we've covered these records, how you can do the digitizer records, new section, how to select new section if you want to select for the new section. So the takeoff and the record part is done. So the next lecture we're going to have a look on the annotations, and we then go to the tools. I appreciate your time again, and thanks for keeping in touch with us. See you in the next lecture.